This is maybe the feeding I'm most excited to check in on because we fed him a massive amount of apple and melon and all kinds of things last week. So I just want to see, like, can this bin process just an incredible amount of material in only 2 weeks? I even did a quick 20-second video where I checked in on it after 1 week, and you could see the worms swarming over the top. So after 2 weeks, I can see just a thick, thick carpet. There's a little bit of stuff sticking out right here. Oh, and you can see some worms underneath it. But everywhere else it's just castings. Look at that. That is stunning. That is marvelous. I've never seen anything like that. Wow. I'm trying to provide narration here, but I'm quite speechless. I really don't know what to say. I'm gonna scrape off some of these completely finished castings, move it over to the side, so that the worms can leave it, and they venture on back over to this side, and it'll be available throughout the week. If I want to harvest anything and put in my garden, I can just come here to the right and pick it up anytime I need some castings. What even was this? It's like a little shell. Whatever was inside of it got completely scooped out. Wow. Wow. And look, there they all are. Can you see that? Oh, wow. That is spectacular. Wow, look at that. Okay, well, here's part of the answer to the question. Here's some of the skins to the apples that we fed last week. They're still around, probably because it was a pretty thick zone, but the worms are going after them. You can. It is smelling a little stinky here, though. They did. It is definitely rotting faster than these guys could eat. So we did overdo it a scotch, but wow, they are making progress. Can you see that? Okay, so in terms of because it is a little bit stinky, in terms of what we're gonna do this week, we're gonna add. Oh, that's smelly. We're gonna add quite a bit of cardboard. Soak up some of this extra moisture, slow down the decomp a little bit, and give them an easier chance to come at this food from all angles. Because where it was stinkiest is where it was like kind of thick. Look at that. Woo. But first, I'm not gonna get out of order. I'm gonna fluff up this onto the side, just as always. Yeah, the moisture spreads out throughout the entire bottom of the bin. So even though I only added wet stuff on here, this side over here is also quite moist. And so when I add in the dry cardboard over here, even though I don't add any on this side, it is going to take water out of the whole system. So we added a lot. It added a lot of water. So it seemed like they went through a lot of the food, but what we didn't do quite right when we did our massive feeding is we didn't balance the amount of cardboard we were putting in with the amount of, wet fruit in terms of melon and apple. So we have a very, very overly wet bin. So we got to counter that. I'm gonna put in the description. I'm gonna figure out what this shell was for. I completely can't recall what I fed them. There was some flesh inside here that they ate out, but there's just that skin left over, and I just can't at all recall what it was. So I'll probably just check the tape to figure that out, and I can put that down in the comments. So yeah, we have a wet, stinky worm bin is what we have, which is why we check on it. Here's some cardboard down here, and then here's just, I love it when you see like the worm ball just kind of falling down because there's a bunch of worms everywhere. We are going to add as much cardboard as we can. So let's bring that cardboard over here. Let me go grab it, and then just start. Just needs a lot. Oop, bump that here. Okay, that's quite a bit of cardboard. That's enough to get us started. Let's get it down in there where it needs to be. This is shredded, just delivery boxes. There's a city puts out a free newspaper that we get, and so we shred that up too. Can already feel the moisture content going down a little bit as I'm mixing this in. Worms probably hate it, but they need it. It's their medicine. Okay. Now that we got that in, I'm just gonna continue to feed them a little bit more because I have it and I want to get rid of it. So in goes the coffee grounds. And then I'm gonna just break this up. Just so it's a good high nitrogen food source for them. I'm not gonna do a big feeding today because there is leftover food, but there are a lot of worms here. I need to keep feeding them. I did my best to grind up some eggshells in here. Hopefully some of these at least will be small enough for them to use in their gizzards. Allow them to keep eating. And then I just have a little bit of, not very many kitchen scraps this time, just a little bit of eggplant that we didn't manage to get to ahead of the rot, unfortunately, and a zucchini. And that is it. You know what? It needs a little bit more. I'm gonna add more some of the more shred. They just need it. Soak up all that moisture. They can also eat this, so it is, if they do, they'll go through and eat that food that's rotting. They'll eat that first. They definitely prefer that. The cardboard is just like a good kind of more, think of it more as like an emergency food source. And then I'm spreading a little bit of the finished castings on top, just because this has all the different microbes that break everything down. So I'm just inoculating everything with that, and with that, that's it. We're done checking on these ones. I mean, they went through a lot of the food, but not all of it, which means we had a moisture issue. And so by adding the extra cardboard, we were able to soak that up and solve the issue. And so we'll check again in 2 weeks, see how we're doing on our moisture levels. Until then, see ya.